toxic masculinity.
So
Super chats?
we are done with the news. Yes, we're done with the news. Let's go ahead and read some of your questions and comments.
Okay. We already read some couple super chats before. There is the next one would be from Jonathan Khan. Kuhn.
Okay.
Nobody mentioned how tall each of you are yet. I'm guessing Mr. Reagan is 5'8" and Mrs. is 5'2".
5'8"? Jeez, no, I'm 5'10". 5'8"? Why would you think I was that short? That's a weird thing to think. I mean, you don't see me standing up ever. I'm never standing up. I do know a lot of very tall people. Like Gorka is like, I think he's like 8 feet tall. My father is 6'2", which is really annoying because when I was a kid, I just thought I would, I was actually taller than most of the other kids in my class growing up. So once I was like, I don't know, 14 to 15, or probably a little younger than, probably like 12, 13, I was taller than everybody, or as tall. I was one of the taller kids. There are some kids, that are like crazy tall, even when they're like 12. I wasn't one of them. But I was like, of most of the normal sized guys in my class, I was probably the tallest, or one of the tallest. And then we hit like 15, 16, 17, and all these guys got super tall, like 6'2", and I stopped. I stopped at 5'10". I was like, what the hell's going on? I was like, so I do kind of consider myself short because actually most of the people that I know in my life over the years have been taller than me. Most of my friends are 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", around that range. But most of my family, at least on my dad's side, they're all really tall. I mean, everybody's like over 6 foot. Even the women, I think, are pretty tall. But my sister, I think, is 5'7" or something like that. But my mom's side of the family is all very short. Everybody's on my mom's side is short. Everybody on my dad's side is super tall. So, I wouldn't say super tall, but tall. So I got screwed over. I got the Scotland side. You think Scottish people are tall, but not my grandfather. He was short. My uncles are short. Well, we're all basically 5'10". My brother's 5'10". My brother Nick got lucky. He's 6 foot, so he got sort of normal man height. But yeah, no, I'm not 5'8". That's terrible. That was a super chat. Somebody paid money to call me 5'8". I'm offended. Not that being a short guy is necessarily a bad thing. I think Tom Cruise is 5'6". But anyway, all right. Anything else?
Well, what about my height?
They're a little short on you too. You're 5'3"?
I measured myself. I was 5'1". I was measured by a doctor. I'm 5'3". So I'm saying that I'm 5'2".
Well, if the doctor measured you at 5'3", you're probably 5'3". Well, we'll measure you after this is over. After this is over, we'll measure her. We'll get the exact height. Anything else?
Next super chat.
Mm-hmm.
From Patriot Daniel.
Yes.
Just $5, not saying anything.
Oh, thank you very much, Patriot Daniel. That's excellent.
And this person who paid $20, Slayer Sigma Jetta. And I think I saw him, I think it's him, complaining that, hey, answer your super chats, like while we were doing our articles.
We answer the super chats at the end of the show. That's how we do the show. So don't put in super chats until the end.
Do you think that at some point conservatives must stop talking the supposed moral high ground and react with violence of their own?
No, I don't think
It's
violence.
the only language the left understands.
No, I don't agree with that.
If they want a war, why not give it to them?
Look, at some point, if enough, if the left acts egregious enough, if our civil rights are being violated in a significant way, then obviously we won't have a choice. I think that if there is a violent revolution in America, it would have to be, to some degree, a military intervention. So we would have to somehow get the military on the side of the conservatives, and then they would just remove Biden from office. I think that's how it would go. I don't think that there's a possibility of having like a war between militias in America and the U.S. military. I don't think that's going to be happening. I certainly don't think a militia is going to come in and take out Joe Biden. I don't think that would be respected by most people in America. I think what would have to happen is there would have to be some military leader that would have people in the White House removed, and we would have somebody else put in place temporarily until we could have a proper election. That's how I suspect such a coup would have to occur. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities coming up in the near future. I don't want to see that. I would not want to see that. I would want to see a free and fair election in 2022. I'd like to see us reclaim Congress, the House of Representatives and the Senate. And then I don't want to see the Supreme Court pact. I want to see everything sort of remain fair and honest and, as much as possible. Now, will that happen? I don't know. It's tough to say. Democrats are in charge right now. I don't trust them at all anymore. I used to say that, you could trust Democrats to some degree because they're not going to go so far that people are going to recognize that they're totally corrupt. They're not going to go so far as to commit criminal acts that could put them in prison. Now, I'm not so sure about that. I think that I wouldn't put that past them. So I am a little bit more concerned. And I do think that it is possible that there will have to be some kind of retaliatory action by the military if things go too far. I don't think we're there quite yet, but it's getting closer than I would have ever imagined would happen in my lifetime. So that's kind of scary. But at the end of the day, I think that the other thing that's a little bit of a problem is you have to be able to convince enough Americans that corruption is happening. What the Democrats are very good at, I think, is they're very good at lying in a way that convinces enough people that people still think that the Democrats are like honest and they're like the good side. They're like the good ones doing the good stuff. Yeah, if you talk to Democrats, like I've been replying to one guy that has been writing me a lot lately, who's a very close friend of mine, and it's just amazing to me that people still believe Democrats are honest and that Trump is like such a bad guy and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's just obviously they're wrong, but it doesn't matter how much evidence you put in front of them. It doesn't matter how much logic and reason and rationality that you put in front of them. They are convinced that MSNBC and Rachel Maddow are telling them the truth. It's just crazy. All right.
Next super chat.
Yeah.
From Stefan Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, Biden reminds me of that Governor Mel Brooks in Blazing Saddles.
I've never actually seen Blazing Saddles, but I'll watch it. I'll have to watch it. My mother loves that movie. She's just one of her favorite movies. I remind you of the Governor? Hold on,
Biden. I think Biden reminds.
Oh, Biden reminds.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. I thought you said that.
It's Biden.
Okay, Biden reminds you of the Governor of Blazing Saddles. I'll have to watch that. My mother and my father, they love that movie. They always try to encourage me to watch. I never have because I don't know. It seems like silly. I don't really love Mel Brooks comedy. I mean, when I was a kid, I liked Spaceballs and I like some of that stuff, but it's not really my kind of thing. I never watched The Producers. I should watch Blazing Saddles. Everybody says it's like this fantastic film, so I should watch it. Chris K writes, Biden will be taken out by Alzheimer's and not a military coup. I think Biden's already been taken out by Alzheimer's. I mean, the thing about Biden is he's already out. When I say there's a military coup that's going to take Biden out potentially if things get too bad, taking Biden out of the White House would just be a symbolic gesture. Biden doesn't control anything. Biden is the mechanism by which other people control the American people, control the office of the presidency. They just put papers in front of him and have him sign them. So he is in control in the sense that he's physically in control because he holds the pen. But beyond that, no, it's other people making the decisions. So the power would be taken away from those people, really, is what would be happening. But the symbolism would be taking Biden out of office. But yeah, he's either going to die or he's going to have to step down before there's a military intervention. If we ever get to that point, it would probably be Kamala would be taken out, or in 4 years when there's another Democrat that's illegitimately in office, they would be taken out. So we'll have to see what happens, which I assume will be Kamala anyway.
Yeah. It's a shame.
Right. Anything else?
No, we're done for today.
That is it. We're done with the Super Chats. Well, is there anything else that anybody wants to say?
No, nobody's saying anything.
If Larry wants to go. All right, guys. Well, that is it for Monday. Hold on. Otaku Magnet says, did you see the judge saying that the jury can't take anyone's gender preferences into account? And with that, his insistence of not sequestering them raises red flags. What? No, I didn't hear gender preferences. It's a weird thing. Does anybody have weird gender preferences in the Chauvin trial? I'm actually not watching the Chauvin trial intentionally because I don't want that to eat up all my time. I got too much other stuff that I'm doing. But, and I'll just, I watch the highlights and I read the articles about it and stuff like that. But I don't want to get caught up in it. I know if I focus too much on it, I'll spend all my time on it and it'll just waste all my time. It's also kind of boring. And I already know, I already feel like it's obvious from the video footage what happened, and this guy's innocent. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go. We will be back tomorrow. Same toxic time, same toxic channel. We are the least professional show on YouTube. Oh, no, there's another one. Andrew Beerwort, love you, man. He says, I'm 6'2", my brother's 6'5". Across the street, one boy was 6 foot, 6'8", and 7 foot. Yeah, it's always tough when there's people taller than you because you do feel slightly inferior. I mean, I was lucky because I was kind of born with this like obscene level of confidence, which I don't think is even remotely appropriate for me, but whatever, I've got it. So it made my life a lot easier.
One time somebody told me, like a guy, I think, at work, he was like, I never seen anybody smaller than me. I was like, have you been in Koreatown? I'm like, man, I see so many people like smaller than me, and you're telling me that I'm the smallest person you've seen? Give me a break.
We invited that girl to the party the other day, and she was very tiny. She's smaller than you. She's probably 5'9" or something like that.
I'm like, really?
There's a lot of girls smaller than you. You know what was really funny, actually? When we ended up meeting, who was it? What's that girl's name? She's pretty famous. She's on YouTube. She's got a YouTube channel. She's pretty famous. She's a men's rights activist. Gosh, why can't I remember her name? I love this woman. She's a good friend of mine. How can I not remember her? Anyway, whatever. Valeria ended up meeting her for the first time, and she had been following my social media and following me on Instagram and stuff, and she'd followed Valeria's Instagram. And when she met Valeria, she was like, you are so much tinier. I thought you were like 5'10". she thought you remember that? Yeah. She thought you were like really tall, and I'm like, well, it's photographs, and you're really skinny. So in photographs, you can look much, much taller. Your proportions are that of a tall person. I'm getting contacted. There's a lawyer who wants to maybe work with me on trying to deal with my social media stuff. So anyway, I should respond to her. Somebody says I'm drinking toxic Coke products. It's true. I've talked about this on the show before. I don't ban organizations. I don't stop buying product from major organizations just because the top tier happens to be leftist. I don't do that because I know so many people who work at Coca-Cola are in fact conservative. So I'm not going to try to destroy the company just because of some top management. I'd love them to disappear. Valeria's laughing because apparently somebody said something funny. What is it, Valeria? Go on.
You said I'm not trying to destroy the company.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, as a nation, if we all stopped drinking Coca-Cola, it would obviously destroy the company.
It's okay, America. They're like in the whole world, this Coca-Cola and their products. So if the whole America was stop buying it, I don't think there's gonna be.
I was in Bulgaria once, and I was drinking.
Oh, Bulgaria was who?
One of my exes. And all right, enough. And I was drinking this it was like a peach puree. It was like a peach puree, absolutely delicious drink. It was called Cappy, and I'm drinking this peach puree drink, and I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like, what? Why don't we have this in America and stuff like that? I'm like, is this like a local product? I'm looking at the back, and it's like a Coca-Cola product. I was like, no friggin' way. It's like Coca-Cola goes around the world. They find out what local drink is popular, and they just buy it and they brand it in some way, and they sell it and they make money. I mean, they're a smart company, despite the fact that the top management is a moron. But most of the people that work at the company are, I think, probably decent, hardworking, regular folks. All right, that's it for us. We will see you guys tomorrow. Same toxic time, same toxic channel. You want to say goodnight?
Good night.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.